Bungie never ceases to amaze me. When it comes to false promises like the roadmap recently, mismanagement that we've seen time and time again, and now once again we have an issue, albeit a smaller one, that I think does need addressing. Last week in the TWID, the big This Week in Destiny article, Bungie went through a variety of different topics, none of which were really that important or meaningful to Destiny 2, especially during this crazy crisis that we're going through. But at the very end, they did pique the interest of a lot of players when they said this: another TWID in the books, let's go back to Festival of the Lost and earn some extra rewards. As a sneak peek into the more immediate future, next week we have a sandbox preview with some of the changes coming with Renegades. Our next expansion is coming very soon, so it's time to start unveiling more about it. Where's the sandbox preview? Just like the roadmap promise that never came, the sandbox preview was announced last TWID, and now here we are a full week later, and we know that Bungie doesn't work on weekends, so this article is just not dropping. This week's TWID talked about Call to Arms, Renegade's weapons and gear trailer, breaking down the weapons, celebrating Veterans Appreciation Month, Cosplay Cosmodrome, and Festival of the Lost. There was no sandbox preview at all. And when I recorded the This Week in Destiny video, a lot of people in the comments were like, dude, what is even going on there? Like, who is giving these announcements and managing the TWID right now, where we are just actively being fed misinformation? Bungie is not delivering on any of the, like, even short timelines. Like, this is just meant to be the sandbox preview for an expansion that comes out in less than a month. This isn't like anything that crazy or revolutionary, but people really do want to know how the sandbox is going to change with Renegades. They kind of want to know what Bungie's cooking up. What will the new meta be? How will they make the game feel fresh? What sort of values will they adjust for certain weapons that can change what we use inside the Crucible or inside PvE, etc.? People are genuinely interested when it comes to the sandbox in Destiny 2. So announcing that there would be a sandbox preview definitely got a lot of people excited. I'm not going to lie, as I read last week's TWID, I kind of overlooked this to some degree. But once it was brought to my attention, I thought, man, what is actually happening here? Between the roadmap coming out in a few weeks and then getting delayed, and this sandbox preview, it feels like Bungie has turned into just a chaotic mess lately. And I know this might seem to some like a really nitpicky, maybe a small topic to get upset about. And frankly, I'm not upset about it. I just think it's really weird and really poor management from a multi-billion-dollar company that has millions of fans around the world. Well, used to have millions of fans, I guess, to announce that they're going to do this sandbox preview next week and then just not do it and not say anything about it, not acknowledge it in any way. How does this happen? Like, clearly it must have been written on their calendars for the sandbox preview to drop. So what changed then? And if something changes, that's perfectly fine. Just mention it in this week's TWID. Say, hey, last week we mentioned that there would be a sandbox preview, but yeah, something happened and it's going to be pushed back to next week because we wanted to focus on the marketing of something else, Any sort of reason or acknowledgement would be fine. I'm not here to say like, well, if you said it's next week, then it absolutely has to happen. No, of course, things happen. But to say it's next week and then next week comes and you just don't even mention it is like a weird oversight where it feels like the different teams inside Bungie studios are not properly communicating with each other. That, or we're letting one person run this and they are just doing an absolutely terrible job. Like, they cannot keep even just the tiniest, smallest bit of organization together. And while this may be kind of a small issue, a sandbox preview not getting announced on its timeline, it is a microcosm for a lot of the bigger problems that we're seeing in Destiny 2 and in Marathon, frankly. My biggest complaint about Marathon, aside from the game's quality itself, is just the general mismanagement that surrounded the game and its announcements and how they tried to navigate its controversy with the art theft, etc. Like, even when they went live, which I guess they've deleted that. They deleted the broadcast of when they went live and apologized to everyone. Like, their mics were busted. They had no organization on what they wanted to talk about. They kept jumping around from topic to topic, talking about the real issue about the art theft stuff, but then randomly talking about like the end game and leveling and stuff. This stream right here, this is what I'm talking about. Like, they just randomly go live. They start yapping about a bunch of stuff. Their mics don't even work properly. Like, it's awful. We need to do better than this, Bungie. Let me know what you think down in the comments below.